What's up guys, finally back for another knife installment. This will be part 4 of volume 3. This will be the last part. I had been waiting on some more Twosuns to come in and I had been a little bit sick, so that's why it took a little extra time for this part to come out. Thanks for bearing with me here. But yeah, definitely got another interesting batch of 6 and let's get into this one. The first 2 are going to be some newer ones, and then the next 4 after that are some older models, but I think this is a pretty interesting batch overall. So first up is the TS392 by Wong. As you can see, this is a full titanium construction flipper. You got these large titanium thumb studs, which I'm not really a fan of, but Wong likes to do these type of thumb studs. They do work, I just find that they're not, the most comfortable or the most ergonomic as far as using, but for a reverse flick, they're pretty good. Got this pretty wicked blade shape, 14C, and then your dual folder grooves with that bead blasted finish. Your detent angle is on the later end, but not too bad because the flipper tab will still hit your thumb, you'll be past it and you're good to go. Nice and smooth on this guy, really nice action. And then yeah, I'm just liking these inlays here. These are actual inlays, titanium. You can see how they fit up. Pretty nice fit and finish. And then on the clip side, it works as the over travel stop. This clip here is excellent. I like these small clips, but when they have good retention, they're just really really great aesthetically and just functionally. Sometimes though they might not work if they're too chunky, but this one works perfectly. And then I do like the dual two-tone with the black on these chamfers and then just the gray for the flats. But really nice milling and just overall a very wicked wild Wong design. Twosun definitely let him go crazy on this one, and as soon as I saw this, I definitely knew it was his style, and I definitely wanted it. You got that like half forward finger choil, but it does work well. You can choke up, and then ergonomics on this are just perfect, fantastic. You really get a nice lock, even though you don't have any jimping. This little recess in the blade here, the thumb sits nicely in there, and you just lock up really well. And then again, that crazy blade shape. Don't even know what to call this. It's like a Tonto-ish tip with a recurve and then a bit of like a drop straight back. I don't even know. It's wild, but I really like it. The only problem with this is the grind, even though it's hollow ground, it's not as thin as you would hope or think behind the edge. It definitely wasn't as thin as the TS300 there. It's a bit more of a robust hollow grind, but this blade is, I don't know, it seems more like a piercer, stabber type blade. I feel like the grind kind of makes sense for it in a way. But overall, just really nice. Centering's perfect. The construction is very well done. I like the back spacer and the integrated lanyard hole. Yeah, just a very cool Twosun here. But definitely a nice action on that one. And then you can use those fullers. So, excellent there. But that's the TS392 by Wong. And after that, we have the TS392. This is an XY design. A budget knife here. He recently came out with 3 budget models, and this is the one I like the most. Wanted to pick this one up, see how it was. Really like this blade shape and just the design of it with that dual ground blade. Really cool. Long swedge, kind of like a straight clip point style. But yeah, this grind is nice because the back here stays a little thicker and it thins out you know, towards the tip, but it's still a relatively thin grind overall behind the edge, so it's gonna be a nice and slicey blade once you get into that good steel. Should do pretty nicely. So always like Twosuns D2. I do prefer their 14C, but would prefer if it was stonewashed. And then on here you can see a little bit of stonewashing on the flats, so that is cool. And then your bevels are satin. A nice two-tone, and even though your flats are gonna be stonewashed, your detent is still gonna be able to ride on a nice smooth surface, being that your liners are highly polished, so no bearing tracks, you're just riding on the polished liners, and that kind of compensates for the stonewashed detent track. But very, very smooth, really nice action. And then this micarta, I polished it up, got it nice and smooth. But you can see a little bit of voids in it. Polishing to expose some of the voids, but it also kind of covered some. It doesn't really bother me. I noticed that on these micartas that I get from Twosun, the show side will have voids in it, but the clip side won't. For some reason, like they never end up having any. But yeah, this is a black micarta. And it's got kind of like that whitish color in it, into the weave, like the natural color. But overall, just a really nice budget piece. Your G10 bag spacer, lanyard hole, pretty standard. Very nice detent. This one I got it also because it reminded me of the TS392 by Night Morning. Kind of similar budget style. But overall, just great ergonomics as well. Very similar to the Wong's styling here. Kind of builds around that single groove and then the 3 fingers down here. Very comfortable. Fills the hound out well, and then you have your bit of jimping here that does work pretty nicely, even being just a little bit of jimping. It got a good bite. You lock in. Pretty good to go here on this budget knife. Your detent angle on the later end, but still the flipper tab will hit your thumb once you're past it, and again, just gliding stupid smooth. Very nice. That's my favorite type of action right there. Just very nice smooth gliding action. But well done for the price. 40 bucks. Can't beat it. This one was 98. And I forgot to mention last video how much I spent on these. This one was like 98, 82, 84, something like that. And then 84. So up next, finally getting into some classics. I got the TS392 by Night Morning. And my god, this knife is so incredible, guys. I really, really like this piece. But it does have one major flaw. And we'll get into that in a minute. Just want to show you how clean this construction is. Like the centering and everything was spot on. The fit and finish, the milling, beautiful. Inside and out, the finish is very nice and clean. I was really impressed with this piece. It's one I've been wanting for quite a little while, especially this titanium version. Been passing up the micarta version for this one. Been looking for it for the last year, and this is pretty much the only one I had found so far. Being brand new as well, had to pick it up, but it was quite pricey. D2 here, and then I like that pocket clip, and then the integral looking what is it called? Insert. It's got that chunky insert. But yeah, this clip works great. It's got that ceramic ball, excellent tensioning. Just hits the pocket and goes right past it easily. Your kind of gear style backspacer. The ergos on this one for my hand, they are just phenomenally perfect. Everything fits up exactly where that should be. I lock in, and yeah, don't feel that clip at all, even with no jimping, just solid here. And then the forward finger choil, super large, which is unusual for night morning. He usually does small ones. But yeah, you got that large choil, and then your plunge grind ends right here, so you have quite a bit of life in your blade. And then being able to choke up, like naturally the hand just wants to go to this position. Once you get here, you're locked in, and it gives you that impression like you want to just start doing work. It's one of those type of knives, as soon as you grab it, it gives you that feeling like you're meant to do what it's made for. So very nice feel to the hand on this one ergonomically, and yeah, definitely really impressed with this one. That ceramic ball, detent angle, hits immediately, you get past it. This one had a really strong snappy detent, so I did kind of have to lessen that a little bit, and one of the reasons I did is because of the major flaw I hadn't mentioned yet, and that is the flipper tab here. This flipper tab, being that it's only a flipper deployment, is a little disappointing, but it's quite small. This end here, with no jimping, it's still sharp, so it kind of presses into the finger. You gotta kind of come on top over with the meat and then actuate it so it doesn't bother you as much. But that's one of the big reasons why I lessened the strength of my detent, or my lock bar and all that. Sometimes I would slip off and not be able to actuate it because it would be stiff, or just hurt the finger, and yeah. So still nice and snappy though. Definitely has a great detent regardless. But I do wish this was a thumb stud knife. If I could flip or delete this and put a thumb stud here, I think it would just look so much sweeter profile wise. But overall, just a really, really cool knife. I'm super impressed with this one. Really enjoying it. But yeah, I paid $168 for this bad boy, so it was a little pricey. But like I said, being that this is the only one I've ever seen for sale and brand new, I was willing to pay it. But still nice action, even with the stronger lock bar tension and detent strength. But yeah, great knife here. Really, really liking this one, the TS102. Even though I paid a kind of a premium on that one, I'm not too upset because on the next knife I got a really good deal on it, so it kind of balanced it out. And that is the TS182 here. I'm gonna take a quick intermission, and I will be right back. Hold on, guys. Apologies, guys. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I had noticed the sun was starting to interrupt my lighting here. But this is a TS182. This is a Wong design. And just another gorgeous, gorgeous piece. I'm very impressed with this one, being that the construction here, the materials used, everything is very simple in nature, I guess. It's just an inset liner lock. Very basic. It's only the lock bar, not even a full liner. And then all carbon fiber handle construction, just thick carbon fiber. You don't even have a liner on this side. So again, very simple here. Your titanium backspacer with the integrated lanyard hole, your clip, but they did everything so well to the best of its ability, I would say here. The carbon fiber is just gorgeous. This cut, the milling, the machining on it, the way the cross cut is exposed on the chamfers, and the milling here, the through hole, the polishing, everything is just very clean. Very well done, fit and finish wise. And then that lock bar. Let's see if we can get in on there. There's one thing about it I don't like, and it's the fact that it uses the clip screws as part of the construction to enforce, the security of it. That's kind of a design thing I don't like to see, but I know it's necessary here. It does strengthen, the fit up. I get a decent solid lockup, no play or nothing, even with just this lock bar. No side to side, up or down. M390 on this blade, and then super slicey, very nice behind the edge. Nice blade shape. Just a subtle drop point. A little bit of a thumb ramp. Again, no jimping, but you're okay. Due to that little bit of thumb ramp, and then again the ergos, just that kind of simple style that he likes to build off of. Good lock bar access. And then on this one, your detent, even though it is late, again, you'll still get past it. Flipper tab will hit your finger, and then nice and smooth on this one as well. But yeah, just definitely very well constructed here, being that it's just simple, carbon fiber for the most part. And then something I do want to mention is this carbon fiber, being that it's so thick, you don't have to worry about not having that liner there. Squeezing as hard as I can, and there's no flex at all. So this carbon fiber is solid, good to go. And then again on this one, I down-tuned the detent because I wanted to be able to use the flipper tab or the thumb studs. It's definitely tuned for this flipper tab, which is a nice little flipper on here. Works very well. Jimping's great. But I wanted to be able to use these thumb studs easily without it kind of hurting or being difficult, since that has been something that was noted on this one, that they were kind of hard to use. But again, it's just because the detent was definitely tuned for the flipper. So I tuned it for both now. It's perfect. You just definitely got to make sure you're past your detent. Sometimes you think you'll be past it, but you'll get a little hung up, get a little bit of detent rebound, and then kind of get stuck. But you'll be good to go, One thing I do like about this flipper tab too is the way it's angled, and when you go to flip out your thumb stud, you're not going to end up like hitting your hand as it comes around. So that is nice. And then one last thing on this one, this clip, it has so much bad going for it, and yet it works wonderfully. Being that it's in this depression, it's got like this ball style. It's not deep carrying the least bit. It just seems like it's a bad clip, but yet it somehow gets under that ball easily because of this. So it actually works in its favor. And then yeah, it just works very well in and out of the pocket. It's in a good position, so ergonomically you won't feel it in your hand either. It just sits right in that crest of your palm, and you're good to go. But that's the TS392 by Wong, and I paid $85 for this one. Very nice there. So up next, we have the TS228 Aurora Jelly Jerry design. It's a really, really sweet, gorgeous piece. Fit and finish on this was just phenomenal. Everything fit up so perfectly. Very, very solid. This pocket clip works great. Perfect tensioning. I just wish, like I had mentioned before, he would have done an internal relief cut due to the symmetrical nature of the carbon fiber. Just would have been a cleaner look. Then you have your compounded tip, that grind there. Even though you have a compounded tip, it's not really much thicker than the rest of the blade, so it's more so for aesthetics. The thickness is very subtle as far as like the change here. towards the tip. So again, more so for aesthetics, but behind the edge thickness is pretty good. I would say standard. Not too thick, not too thin. 14C, Jelly Jerry design. Overall, just a really beautiful piece. I'm really liking this one. That lanyard hole built into the frame. Really cool design. And then just all that micro milling, very nice milling. Nice blade shape. And if you're a lefty like me, you get more access due to that lock bar, so you can reverse flick this pretty easily. You can still do it right-handed, but definitely easier to do it left-handed. On this one, I kind of want to flipper delete this one as well, just make it a reverse flicker, because I think, again, if you were to take that flipper off, just the profile of this looks so clean. Really like it. And then, yeah, just flicks really easy. D10 angle, on the later end, normal to late. Pass it though, and good to go, nice and smooth. But yeah, kind of wish this was a front flipper too, just because of that design. That was probably something he had thought of, but just didn't end up integrating in the end, in the final design. But yeah, just a really beautiful piece. Ergonomically though, this knife might not be for everybody because of that bump here. The way your fingers fit in here, you kind of have to like squeeze both of these in. And for me, this is actually still pretty comfortable. That bump doesn't end up hitting in the middle. It's more so towards the end of my middle finger. So even with that, I'm still comfortable enough. Or I can hang back a little, but you do kind of feel like you are back. Not too much, but you notice it. But this is good enough for me. Another reason I kind of want to flipper delete this is to make a choil here, so that I would get that perfect ergonomics for this knife. I think it would work a lot better. Something I'm definitely going to consider doing. That's the TS392 by Jelly Jerry. And overall, still a beautiful piece for the collection. So, last one, guys. I got a really, really old one. The TS33. Picked this guy up recently, front flipper here. Really cool, like wood grain. What's it called? Milling. And then, yeah, just kind of that pocket katana style, Tonto. Always a sucker for Tontos, but man, this thing is super thick behind the edge. This thing is a wedge. M390. I'm definitely thinking of getting this one reground. Not thin by any means, but that's how their early ones were. I more so got this for the collection and just to enjoy to flip. Twosun has done a couple of models like this style. This is their more premium one. Your D10 angle. Where are we at? There we are. Couldn't even feel it at first. Get past it. Smooth here. This one was super strong. Had the detent, which was surprising. I had to tune it down a lot. You don't want your front flipper that strong because it makes it difficult. But the front flipping action's alright on this one. Not my favorite per se. I would really only recommend this one if you're like a collector for Twosun, or you really like Tontos and front flippers and, you know, knives of this nature. But for normal EDC, you probably want to pass this one up. But nice lock bar axis, and overall still a pretty cool piece. I do really like this milling though, pretty sweet. But yeah, you can definitely touch this blade easy back here. So that is one thing about these thin profiles. But that's all I got, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the series. And I'm going to be doing some re-yacht stuff next, so follow along. Thank you.